Welcome back to Everyday English Tips. Ready to speak English faster and better? Let's jump in.
You know that feeling when you understand English perfectly fine when you read it or listen.
Yeah, you get it passively.
Exactly. But then you try to speak and it's like nothing comes out right. Your tongue feels tied.
That leap from just understanding to actually, using the language in real time.
That's it. It's a major hurdle for so many people.
It really is. It's shifting from like a passive skill to an active, spontaneous one. Very different.
And that specific challenge, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We've got some excellent material here actually sent in by you, the listener, all focused on getting better at everyday English conversations.
Right. And our mission for this deep dive is, well, to really dig into this material. We want to unpack why the sources say daily conversation practice is, like, maybe the fastest way to fluency.
Okay.
And pinpoint those common topics they suggest, starting with, the easy entry point.
Thanks.
We'll pull out some of the useful phrases they offer, and crucially, distill the actual strategies the material gives for, well, turning theory into practice, into sounding natural.
Yeah, this isn't just abstract advice. We're looking closely at your source material to help you build that confidence, sound more natural, and, actually use English day to day.
Whatever your current level.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The material kicks off with a pretty strong claim, doesn't it? That daily chat is potentially the fastest route to improvement.
It does. And that focus on speed is interesting. What the sources seem to argue is that it's less about cramming vocabulary and more about building automaticity, like making your brain work faster. When you speak daily, even for just a bit, you're forcing that quick access to words and grammar.
So it's like training your brain's search engine to be super fast for the English you already know rather than just adding more files.
Exactly that. And really importantly for conversation, it gets you used to the speed of real interaction, the back and forth. The sources point out that this is how you build responsiveness, understanding and replying without that long, awkward
dreaded pause. Yeah, okay. While you translate in your head, that makes total sense. It's training reaction time. What else feeds into this fastest way idea in the sources?
Well, beyond the speed and getting the right words out, they talk a lot about rhythm and flow.
Okay.
This is something grammar books don't really teach, the natural cadence, the intonation, the stress patterns.
The music of the language.
Precisely. By speaking regularly, the sources suggest you start to absorb this naturally. And they frame this as absolutely key to sounding, well, natural, not just correct.
That really clicks. It's not just the notes, but how you play them. Right?
You got it. And the sources also bring up something maybe less technical, but just as vital. Confidence.
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
They really emphasize that feeling confident is as important as knowing the grammar rules or having a big vocabulary. That fear of making mistakes, it stops so many people. And the material presents daily practice as the main way to tackle that fear.
So every little chat helps build that confidence muscle.
Exactly. It reframes mistakes. They're not failures. They're just necessary steps, part of learning.
So the advice isn't wait until you're perfect. It's more like jump in now. Practice builds the confidence as you go. That feels way more doable.
It does, yeah. It shifts the goal from perfection to just effective communication. Okay, so if daily practice is the engine, where do you start? The sources say begin with topics that pop up constantly.
The conversational low-hanging fruit.
Pretty much, yeah. They lay out this common ground, things needing minimal jargon, like simple greetings and small talk.
The essential social lubricant, how are you, and all that.
Right. Then, just talking about your day, what you did, what you're up to, super universal.
Can't really avoid talking about your day, can you?
Nope. The sources also list hobbies and interests, talking about movies, music, sports, things you actually like.
Makes it easier if you care about the topic.
Definitely. Also, food and meals, always a safe bet. And work or study, explaining your job, what you're learning.
These are things you probably think about in your own language anyway, so you've got the basic ideas already. The material seems to say this reduces the mental effort, letting you focus on just speaking English.
That seems to be the logic, yes. They're presented as good practice ground because the concepts are familiar. And then the sources get even more practical. They offer specific phrases for these topics.
Okay, so not just telling you to talk about food, but giving you some actual sentences to try.
Exactly. They give examples meant to be learned and used until they feel natural. Like, good morning, how's your day going?
Classic icebreaker. Simple.
Or something like, I usually have coffee in the morning. Basic, common, easy to adapt.
Relatable stuff. Yeah.
Or maybe, I enjoy watching movies on weekends. Or asking, what kind of music do you like? Ways to share and ask about interests.
Just those hobby conversations started.
And there's one that might resonate with many listeners. I'm learning English to improve my career opportunities.
Ah, that one's quite direct. Explains the why. The sources say the goal is to use these until they feel totally natural, right? Not just like you're reading from a script.
That's the absolute key. Moving beyond just memorizing to actually integrating them. So they become your go-to response in that situation, automatically.
Okay.
And to reach that point, the material lays out some concrete strategies. The how-to?
Right, this is where the rubber meets the road. What are the main strategies these sources are pushing?
Well, number one, underpinning everything is practice regularly. Consistency over quantity. They really stress that even just 5 or 10 minutes every day is way better than, say, one long session once a week.
5 or 10 minutes. Okay, that suddenly sounds manageable, not like needing to block out huge chunks of time.
Right. It lowers that barrier to just starting and keeping it going. Then, linked to that is don't fear mistakes.
Ah, yes. The fear factor.
The sources are very clear. Aiming for perfection early on just freezes you up. Communication first, learn from the slip-ups.
Permission to be imperfect. That takes a lot of pressure off. Okay, what else?
Active listening and repeating. This means really listening to how English sounds, podcasts, videos, real people, and then trying to actually repeat phrases, mimic the sounds, the rhythm.
So not just letting it wash over you, but actively trying to copy it, engaging with the sound.
Precisely. Then, a big one, find conversation partners. The sources emphasize that while practicing alone helps, nothing beats real interaction for building that responsiveness, dealing with real people.
Yeah, you need someone to actually talk back.
You do. And finally, they mention leveraging technology, using apps, websites, online groups, whatever tools you can find for practice, feedback, or just exposure to natural speech.
Use the modern toolkit. Makes sense. The material even gives that little role play example, right? Meeting someone, names, free time, just to show how simple it can be.
Yeah, it's like a mini demonstration. You don't need super complex language to have a basic, meaningful exchange. Start small, build up.
So, if we pull back and look at everything we've covered from this material, the core message seems to be, get started, use simple, everyday topics, learn some practical phrases until they're second nature, and commit to doing it regularly, even briefly. And critically, don't let the fear of messing up stop you.
That really sums up the foundation, yeah. The sources strongly suggest that this kind of daily, low-pressure practice on common stuff is the clearest path, builds fluency, and that essential confidence.
And the strategies, short, regular bursts, accepting mistakes, listening actively, finding partners, using Touchagator, those are the concrete steps.
Those are the actionable takeaways, definitely. And the material frames it all as a journey. It takes patience, enjoying the small improvements.
Absolutely.
And if you think about weaving English into your life, these steps aren't just homework. They're ways to make English part of your actual routine. Which brings up a question for you, the listener, to maybe think about. Looking ahead to tomorrow, just tomorrow. Which one of these small actions we've talked about, drawn from the source material, feels like the most doable thing for you to try? Is it practicing one phrase when you wake up? Actively listening for 5 minutes during your commute? Maybe just thinking about how you describe your lunch in English.
That's the challenge, isn't it? Just finding that one small, achievable step to take today or tomorrow. Start there, keep practicing, and keep diving deep.